Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Today's word is titled Overcoming Fear of Commitment. Overcoming Fear of Commitment. So, what is commitment? When we talk about commitment, we're talking about dedication. And the closest synonym within the Bible for commitment is actually faithfulness. Being faithful, faithful to God, faithful to others around us. So being dedicated to the things that are, of concern to us, the people that are of concern to us, being dedicated, that's being committed. So why would we be fearful of something that is seemingly good? Or fear still comes. That fear is not necessary, but it comes. But we must overcome this fear. Because God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of a sound mind. So every fear will be gone from your life, I pray, in the name of Jesus. So what are we committed to? What do we commit to? Of course, we commit ourselves to God. That is the primary commitment in our very lives. And then we commit ourselves to our own individual self. And then you commit yourself to others. So bottom line, our relationships define our commitment. Our relationships define our commitment. So the fear of commitment in a lot of instances is the fear of getting into a particular relationship or a particular promise. What does it truly mean? Why do we fear commitment in certain instances? The primary reason, the number one reason, is the fear of loss. We fear that when we commit to something, there is the likelihood that you will lose something. That truly is the basis for that fear of commitment, the fear that you will lose something. A person who's afraid of committing into a relationship, a marriage relationship, feels that there's a likelihood that they will lose self or they will lose some kind of independence or the ability not to consider another. But what about the other side? What are the gains in entering into such a commitment? Zacchaeus is a prime example of a person who was looking to commit, but without fear. He was committed to meeting with Jesus, to seeing Jesus. He wanted to see, and he committed to that promise he made to himself. I want to see Jesus. Now, his actions is what indicates the lack of fear in everything he did. So, as he was going, the first thing we would note concerning Zacchaeus, concerning the issue of commitment, is that Zacchaeus ran ahead of the crowd. Why? His stature, which is his limitations, did not allow him to see Christ the way everyone else would. Imagine a life that your limitations might not allow you to get into a relationship the way everyone else would. But it doesn't matter because there are ways for you to run ahead of the crowd. Zacchaeus, he was a rich man, but he wasn't puffed up about it that, you know what, I'm rich, why should I run? Rich men don't run, they get carried as in those days. No, he didn't look at it that way. He was being driven by true purpose. And the purpose for which he was being driven is that he wanted to see Christ. He wanted to commit himself to seeing Christ. And as he went, he looked around. What's normal for everyone is not normal for me. How many times have you felt that way? It's normal for everyone. Everyone is enjoying a certain thing, but me. That's okay. You can run ahead and place yourself somewhere better than everyone else. Who helps you to do that? God. So instead of lamenting about what is not, Focus on what could be and let God guide you to run ahead, that you may be positioned to also enjoy what others are enjoying. You might say to yourself, oh, I've passed a certain age for marriage. Who defined it that way? Oh, it's too late for me to do this. Who said so? God is more than able to sort it out. You run ahead. You know, for Zacchaeus to run ahead, he had to forego dignity. So, which means he allowed purpose to overtake dignity. A grown man, he must have been a grown man, he was a chief tax collector. A grown man running on the street like a kid. But his purpose overtook dignity. So there was no fear of dignity in him because purpose had overtaken dignity. Am I saying dignity should be thrown out the window or, all in all? No. But I'm saying weigh purpose versus dignity. In this case, seeing Jesus was key for him. So dignity didn't matter. He ran ahead. Even in those instances in life where you cannot enjoy what others are enjoying, God will grant you the opportunity to run ahead and even be above everyone else in the name of Jesus. The second thing we notice about Zacchaeus is that he climbed up the sycamore tree. Because now, having run ahead of everyone, Jesus was going to go by that way. He ran ahead. Now he had to position himself to be taller than everyone. He was short, as a person relative to everyone else. So to elevate himself, he went up a tree. Again, consider a grown man climbing a tree like a kid. That's one of the things that I enjoy the most about Zacchaeus. Dignity. Sometimes we feel that, we're all that. When the purpose is there, sometimes we should forego dignity that we may achieve purpose. When the commitment you're looking to get into is the right commitment, forego dignity that you may achieve your purpose. Let nothing hold you back. Do not fear. Do not be insecure. Because there is better ahead for you in the name of Jesus. So in addition to Zacchaeus letting purpose define his actions in terms of running ahead, he also let purpose define his direction, which is upward. He needed to go up to see Jesus. So purpose drove him up the sycamore tree. And guess what? Christ passing by now had to look where? Up. Christ had to look up to see Zacchaeus. And wherever Christ looked, the crowd around him will look in the same direction because they were following Christ. So all those who would seemingly look down at Zacchaeus because of his stature now had to look up to see him. Wow, he's up the tree. Wow, he has the attention of Christ. He achieved his purpose. So when it comes to fear of commitment, you have to overcome it. And the way to overcome it is to understand that God is with you. God is your sufficiency. God is the one who covers all your weaknesses. And God will help you to elevate purpose beyond dignity and security. And it shall be well with you in the name of Jesus.